Hey everyone, and welcome to IG8Live Esports. We're live this evening with PGL F1 Sunday division here for round 20 of 23. Well, I think about 22. We'll probably will do 2 in 1 for the final event, so we'll see how that works out either way with the calendar on it. But anyway, round 20 for the Italian Grand Prix, getting started with the qualifying 1 right about now. And I'm looking for my controller because I think I forgot where I left that. Alright, let's see. So we got 17 drivers on the grid. Got quite a few already out on track on outlaps at the moment, so no lap times currently set. We'll see where we are at the end of Q1 at least. I think we should have a bit more of a full grid by the time we get to the end of qualifying 3. We'll see how that works out either way, because I think a few drivers might be joining on just a bit late, but let's get a few of our details up on screen. At least we have an idea what's going on so far. Of course, qualifying 1, everyone is going to be on the soft tires and running here in the first qualifying session just to get the best possible lap time in so that they can make it on over to qualifying 2, which is of course the main aim at this point in the session here. Qualifying definitely will be lasting close to about an hour here, being it's the full qualifying session, so we got some time before we do get started with the race itself. So we're going to see how well that's going to work for the drivers currently all in here. So 18 in a session right now. So we're getting closer to that 20. Hopefully we do have a full grid of 20 drivers before actually getting started with the race. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch that getting through. IFR Simpson here. I think I've seen him race before, but I'm not sure if I've seen him race with PGL on either Wednesday or Sunday before. But let's see where he's going to be at the end of this there. Okay, so I think he's currently finishing up his fourth actual hot lap here. So I think he's currently in Sector 2, getting around Sector 3 there right about now. So let's see where he is going to be at the end of this lap. Of course, guys, here in Italy, it's quite an interesting track. Pretty fast-paced around, so we'll see how well drivers do get with the lap times here. So far, a 118.7 from Stinson. Not too bad of a time, but let's see how well that holds up compared to a few other drivers who will be coming around here in just a bit. We already got Mikey getting around the track here at the moment, so let's see where he goes. Like, not too far off, but we think we're going to start to get lap times being just a bit closer off as we get further to the end of qualifying 1. So 120.1 for Mikey, Red Elf with a 121.9. So we're separated by quite a bit right about now, up to a second to about 2 seconds so far. Only 3 lap times in. We'll see where the rest of the drivers currently are. See Neil down at the back here. I think he's running in Sector 2 at the moment. He's trying to finish off this current lap. Let's see if he's able to get a pretty good time in. Spencer there getting a 119.0. Not too bad of a time so far. I think it's going to hold up pretty well. And that's both Renault so far, P1, P2 here in qualifying 1. So they're holding up pretty well up front. Of course, we still got a lot of time left. That's at least 13.5 minutes left for qualifying 1. So we're going to see where the rest of the drivers do go with that, because I think we should have some faster times start to come in as we get closer off to the end of the session. Neil using up most of the track as he can. They're trying not to invalidate as well as he gets across the line with a 122.7. Not entirely a bad lap, but he might want to try and get an improvement off of that before the end of the session. Clarky goes second so far, 118.796, 500th of a second time difference between him and Stinson. So we're starting to get a bit closer off with the qualifying laps. I think Vintage is on a hot lap here right now. They're going to switch on over. And Italy is one of those tracks where it's just not that easy to get an invalidated lap here. I think drivers should be avoiding that as much as possible, at least in this session here. So let's see how fast the lap times are going to start to come in. We do have a few drivers already out of qualifying 1, so unfortunate to see them out. I think one might have a qualifying ban probably, and that's why he's out. I'm not sure. I think that's probably extremist. I'm not sure. I did ask the question earlier off in Discord to see if anyone did have a quali ban for this weekend's race here, but let's see what's going to happen. Vintage getting a 121.1 so far. I think Nick just began a lap there in the AlphaTauri, so let's see where he goes at the end of this. And welcome to everyone currently joining us live currently right now on YouTube. We're live on Twitch and Facebook all at the same time, so I think we got a few viewers on each side of it, and we'll see how well that's going to work out. We also do have the standings up from, been updated from the last race. That was from the US Grand Prix last week, which we did miss, unfortunately, for that, but we still do have the standings updated up to that point, which we'll have a look at probably by the end of qualifying one, between there to get into qualifying two. But for now, just keeping a focus on what's happening here with this session. I think Nick's gonna have to try again with that lap. Did mess that up quite a bit there, and does happen from time to time here. I think we got Waxwing, which is, I think, one of our regular drivers probably switched his PSN name. I'm not sure. I did see something about a switch of PSN name in the Discord. I'm really not remembering who that was. But 121.3 from him so far. Not overly bad, but still want to see where the rest of the grid is going to go by the end of this here. Callum here running in the Haas, and I think he definitely should be on a hot lap. Seems to be going pretty fast, getting around the final sector. See where he goes as he gets across the line, and it's actually quite an easy pit entry lane here if you do think about the kind of straightforward actually getting in and out of the pit lane. It just depends on how much time the pit crew actually does take in there, so we'll see how that's gonna work. That's a 120.6 for him, not overly bad. I think we got Maddie out on track in the Ferrari. Usually get some pretty insane lap times as well, so we'll see where he goes by the end of this current lap here. And so far so good, got a purple sector 1, so that does mean that he's doing pretty well on the current lap. Of course, track is divided into 3 sectors, so you got to get all 3 of them purple in order to get a perfect lap here and get the fastest time in. Since I'm already out of this session, and he stays at a 118.745, so that's going to hold off him in P1 at least for now, but we'll see what's going to happen by the time he gets to the end of the session here. And welcome to Steven there on the chat, and he wants to have a look at Mikey. Where is Mikey on track right now? He's back in the pit, so let's have a look at that when he does get back out. I'm just switching on over to have a look at the comments there right now. So from wherever you're joining us, thanks for joining us on, guys, and please do leave a like on whichever side of the stream you're on right about now. Does help us out, so do appreciate you guys doing that as well. So Maddie goes 119.8, doing well with that so far, not bad at all. Broke Gorilla here down to 17th on the grid. Let's see where he's gonna go by the end of this lap here. And unfortunately that's an invalidated lap, so we'll have to try that again and hopefully get a lap in. We got just under 9 minutes left in qualifying 1, and it's been going quite interestingly well so far, I gotta say. Fastest time in was a 118.7, slowest time 121.9, so that's actually separated by a few seconds. I think it's gonna get quite a bit more interesting going qualifying 2 and qualifying 3. We'll see well that's gonna go there. Try quali and race. Thanks to Neil there letting us know what the conditions are for the entire session, because usually on my end of the lobby here I'm on spectator mode, so I'm not able to see what the weather conditions are like for qualifying and for the race. But thanks to Neil there, one of the drivers in, we're able to know that it's going to be dry for the entire session here. So it's fully dry for the qualifying, and it's going to be a fully dry session in the race as well, which is going to be quite interesting to see how that works out, because usually does provide an interesting change up though whenever there is a bit of whenever there's a bit of rain going on. So we'll see what's going to happen here. And yep, they should add weather to the spectator mode. We can only hope that they actually add like a patch or something for F1 2021 at least to get that in, because I highly doubt they add that in the game there as well. I really don't think they did, because I didn't see any mention of that in terms of features on spectator side of it. So not sure if we're going to even be getting anything similar to that. We'll see what the game does look like though. I know a few of the guys are going to be testing the beta mode for F1 2021. I think this week, probably Wednesday, I think they're doing that. I'm not in that, so I'm not going to be doing it, but we'll get a bit of feedback on them from that and probably talk a bit about it come next week, Sunday, for the race as well, because I think Wednesday division is going to be off in terms of racing this week just because of the beta being out for F1 2021. So at least we'll get some information on that and just have an idea what exactly we should be expecting for that game coming out on July 16th. And Savdar is out. I didn't even pay attention. Savdar didn't get a lap in here, so that's going to be not going too well for him. Of course, usually when there's 20 drivers in the session, we can only have the top 15 going on over to qualifying 2. And still might just stand here, just depending on what happened early off in the session if someone was taken out early. But we should have either 14 or 15 drivers going over to qualifying 2. We already got 4 drivers out of the session without lap times, so going to make it a bit interesting as well to see how well that's going to work out for them. The top of the grid, I think everyone's back into the pits at the moment. They might be getting back out for maybe for one more go at this. We'll see what happens in terms of that. But I think some of them might just be quite happy with the lap times that they currently have. Now we got some interesting lap times. Still close, I think, at 121.9 fastest, though Stinson still holds on to that. And Clark holds on to second, so a pretty stiff competition between the two of them out front. Then Spencer goes 119.0, a pretty interesting time because Mikey is about 7/10 off of that. Not too far off, but still, want to see how that's going to change going over to Q2 at this point. We got a purple Sector 1 coming off Beefy's lap at the moment, going into Sector 2 here right now. And keep an eye on him and see if possibly he's able to get 2 purple sectors. Could eventually result in him getting maybe into the top 5 or top 4. Even into the top 3, depending on how well the Sector 3 would go. But I just went to see what Sector 2 time is going to be like. Bro Gorilla down at the bottom there hasn't made a lap time in the session here as yet. Doesn't need to make any sort of lap time right now. And just to put himself up into 13th on the grid. And might just keep himself going over to qualifying 2 with that there. So let's see what's going to happen here, because I'm waiting to see if Beefy is going to get a lap time in or invalidate this lap. I don't think he had a purple Sector 2, but still could get a pretty good lap if he was able to finish his lap without invalidating it at the moment here. He does have a little bit of time left in the session if he does need to go and try another lap again. But let's see, it goes into the top 5 so far. 119.814, just went about 400th of a second faster than what Maddie did in the Ferrari, so not a bad time for him. And I think that's going to hold up pretty well. I think it's just Bro Gorilla down at the bottom of the grid who has not made a time in there as yet. I think Jiggy just got one. Not a fast one, but he did get one and put himself up into 14th at 132.7. Quite a way off from everyone else, but that's going to just work, at least for now, just to get him, possibly get him over into qualifying 2. We'll see. He's going to have to bank a bit on luck on this one here, because I'm not sure. Someone was off pretty early off in the session. It might just cost him that position if we're going to have 13 going over. But I think we should have the 14 drivers going over. I don't think Optics, Dan Murphy and Savdar or Extremist will be going over to qualifying 2 at this point here right now. So we'll see what's going to happen with that case there. So we will have a few more drivers get back out on track, try to possibly get some faster time in before the session comes on. And we still got just about 3 minutes 10 seconds or so left here to work with. So they're trying to possibly just improve their lap times just a bit. Just want to get as best time in as they can. Of course, they're going to have to be just a bit more focused going over to qualifying 2, because that's going to be just a little more important in terms of their lap times and the tires that they're going to be using as well. So we'll see what's going to happen in that case over there. I think Nick might be trying for another lap again. We'll see if he is able to get it or not. But Stinson, though, holding on to fastest lap still, 118.745. I want to see if that's going to be his pattern going through the entire qualifying session. We got qualifying 2 coming up just after this, and then qualifying 3. Then we get into the race session. So let's see what the next 2 qualifying session goes, because it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to hold on to the fastest lap in all 3 sessions, because we do have quite a few fast drivers still in this session here at the moment. Hopefully we're able to have 2 more drivers join on before getting to the end of qualifying 3. That allows us to have possibly a full grid for the race itself. We'll see what's going to happen there. I think most of our drivers are going back into the pits here at the moment. Mr. Clark is trying for a faster lap, but I don't think he's going to get it. That was a way slower lap that he just got there. So Red Devil down to 14th. Really not the best position that he's in there here at the moment. So I'm not sure if he's even trying to get another lap, but he's currently on an invalidated lap there, which means he's not improving his time right about now. But he does have just about 45 seconds to get across the line and do another lap, which he does seem to be attempting to do at this point here. So let's see if the Alfa Romeo driver will be getting a better lap here. And of course, we're going to have a look at the standings in just a bit, which is quite interesting so far. Alright, so getting down this close to the end of the session, most of the drivers will be retiring as they're quite happy with their lap times. And everyone's going to be getting themselves ready for qualifying 2 at this point here. Either way, I think our leaderboard is going to stay the way it is right about now. Unless we do have anyone possibly making a faster time, because we're just keeping an eye here on Red Devil to see what he's up to here at the moment. If he's going to be able to actually get a better time in or not. I think Waxwing might be trying for another lap there as well. He has a 121.2 so far, which I'm not entirely sure he's going to be fully happy with at this moment. It will take him over to qualifying 2, but still he needs to get an improvement in the next session coming up if he does want to make it all the way to Q3 and get the best possible start. And a track like this is an extremely long straight run down into turn 1, so they have to be extremely careful. It's in a heavy braking zone as well, which is going to be quite interesting to watch, and it's might be causing a lot of problems actually for quite a few of the cars from the midfield going down to the back of the field there, because there's going to be quite a bit of a bunch of activity happening, especially with the turn as narrow as it is getting through. A bit of an S getting through turn 1, so it's going to be interesting when we do get around there. We'll see what's going to happen. And I think we're entirely out of time right about now for qualifying 1, just waiting for the I think that's where should be over there now, and we should have a look at the results and then head on over into qualifying 2. Okay, so far qualifying 1 results there. Stinson with the fastest lap of 118.7. Clark here 118.7 as well from him. Only about 500 for second time difference, so not too bad with that. We got Spencer Milton, 3rd fastest in that session, 119.0 for him. Serious Mushroom in 4, Beefy 5th, Mikey in 6th. We got Maddie 7, Callum in 8th, Nick there 9th, Neil 10th, Vintage in 11th, Waxwing 12, Brokerella 13, Red Devil 14, and well, how many drivers made it on over? It looks like Optics still made it on over to qualifying 2. So it looks like Dan starting 17, Dan 16, Softar 17, and Extremists will have to be starting down there in 18th. Alright, so we're going to head on over to qualifying 2, and let's see what the situation for that session there is going to be. Okay, so getting started qualifying 2, 15 minutes on the clock already, and our 15 drivers in the session. So let's see which drivers are going to be in the top 10 heading on over into qualifying 3. Now we will be putting on some details in terms of tires here right about now. We're going to see what tires these guys are currently doing their best laps on, because of course it's going to be dry all the way through, which means whichever set of tires they do their fastest laps on here in qualifying 2, they will have to be starting that race on that set of tires, regardless of how many laps they've done on them. So which means they will be extremely careful at this point and try to avoid wasting laps on any set of tires that are currently going out on, especially once they do a really good lap on a set. They're probably going to get back in, and yeah, it's probably going to be it for them for the session, because they're not going to be wasting tires out here, because if they do about 7 to 8 laps on a set of tires, they're going to have to be starting on that set and then do an extremely early pit stop in a race, which will affect their race strategy and definitely cause them I guess some pain in the race in terms of position they're going to be losing and whatnot. And welcome to Serious Mushroom joining on the chat. Dear evening to you as well. So just at the start of qualifying 2, we got just a few drivers currently out on track on their out laps, and let's see, we should have a few more getting out in just a bit. See how that situation will work out here, because it's only 15 drivers. Track will not be as busy as it would normally be during a qualifying 1 session. We're close to about 20 cars out on track. Not all at the same time, but usually most of them do to get on out most of the time there. So we got a few more getting out on track right now on their out laps. I think they'll be spacing each other out just a bit, just to try to avoid holding anyone up, or having another car behind them too close is not really not gonna be too good. So they do try to get some space between themselves as they get started with their hot laps here right about now. We got Brogarella on the first hot lap of the session. Let's see where he gets at the end of this. We got a 118. I think 0.5 was the fastest there in Q1. We're going to see what's going to be the fastest lap here in Q2. Of course, we got a mix of tire strategy situation going on. We got some of these guys on the mediums, some of them on the softs, and it's going to be interesting to see those who are trying to qualify on the mediums, where they're going to be in terms of position with their lap times at the end of this session. We'll see how that works for them, because I know some of these guys are extremely fast on even on the medium tires compared to what the rest of the guys on track are doing in the session on the soft tires there. So it's going to be a bit interesting to see what's going to happen. We're getting around sector 3 here right now. We're just keeping it on Brogarella for now, because he is going to be the first one getting a lap time in, and it's going to be interesting to see what that lap time is going to be. Currently doing 117, 118 and going so far. And there he goes, a 122.4 for Brogarella so far, which is not too bad. So we'll see how well that lap time is going to hold up against someone else who's currently on a lap. So let's have a look here. I think Spencer might be on a lap getting around. So let's see if he's able to get a better time in here right now. And thank you very much to Waxwing, who is now following us on Twitch. Hopefully subscribe to YouTube and follow us on Facebook as well. I think I forgot to set Nightbot. It's going a bit crazy in the chat, mostly on the YouTube side, but it's going to show all the way around either way. Anyway, let's see what's happening here right about now. So Red Devil with a 120.1, Spencer 120.0 so far. Got Nick on a lap here as well. Let's see where he goes at the end of this. Some of these corners are extremely tricky, and there we have it. So he invalidated the lap on that final corner, getting around that turn, and that's going to be it for that lap. He will have to try that once again to see if he's able to get a better time in. Where is Maddie on track? I think he went back into the pits here at the moment. So who else is currently running a hot lap out here? Trying to have a look down at the bottom of the grid. I think Waxwing is getting out, and I think he's on the out lap right now still, yeah, in sector 2 at the moment. We'll see where he goes by the end of this here, and hopefully he's able to get our time into possibly making on over with the top 10 to qualifying 3. That will very much help him get one of the, I guess, a better of a start for the race itself. Because as we said earlier on, it's a bit of a rundown into turn 1 for Italy, and it gets quite a bit bunched up to get through turn 1 and 2 at the same time, so drivers are going to be very, very careful with that. We'll see if we potentially will be having a safety car or a virtual safety car on the opening lap of the race. It might just happen, I'm not sure as yet. We'll see how well that's going to go. As you can see, this is the run going down into turn 1 right about now. A very straight run going down, and it's a heavy braking zone getting down around here. Our very steep right-hander and getting to the left-hander getting around. Definitely going to have cars going a bit wide through that, and we're going to have a few incidents as well, I assume, to get around turn 1 on that opening start. So do expect some cars to be taking a pit stop on the first lap, and they might just be hoping that we do have a safety car or a virtual safety car even to just slow the rest of the grid down so that they can catch up and possibly take that stop and still get it back in a decent position on the race itself. We'll see how it's going to work for them, though. I'm not sure if we will have a safety car VSC. This league does race very cleanly, so they tend to avoid this kind of situation that we would normally expect to happen. Alright, so far on the grid we got Neil with the fastest lap here in qualifying 2, a 1:19.5. Did that on the softs though, and Spencer there on the mediums, not a bad lap for him, a 1:20.0. Is going to hold up pretty well so far. He's definitely trying to work it with the medium tires. As you see, he's only done 1 lap on them. Neil has done 2 laps on those softs. He might try with a next set of softs maybe in a few minutes time to get a faster time in the session, because just under 8 minutes remaining right now. Red Devil in third right now on the grid, a 1:20.1. Did it on the softs and is now, oh, Waxman just went up to P4 with a 1:22.1 on the medium, so really not a bad lap. That's going to hold up pretty well for now. Burgerella as well with his 1:22.4, currently on another lap here at the moment, and I think he's on the softs right now. He did his previous lap on the mediums and he just invalidated that lap, so just ignore that for now at least. Yeah, so he did his previous laps on the mediums. Looks like he's trying to do a faster lap on the soft tires here, possibly get it at least a second faster to get maybe into the 121s or possibly the 120, and make sure that he can guarantee himself a spot over in qualifying 3. I think it's what he's trying to do right now. We got Stinson here, and he just got started on his hot lap here. We'll see where this lap does take him. Very tricky getting around that section if you don't take the correct line. It actually does cost you quite a bit of time, so drivers do have to be a bit careful with that. And Clarky now gets the fastest lap at 1:19.2, went about 3/10 faster than Neil's time, and interestingly enough, he did it on the mediums, so that's actually quite impressive to see a car in P1 on qualifying 2 on the mediums there as well. So gotta say, it's an impressive lap for him. Let's see if Stinson here, who was the fastest guy there in qualifying 1, let's see if he's able to get a better time than Clarky here and possibly put his car in P1 for now in the session. We got just about 6 minutes remaining now for qualifying 2, and so far it's been going extremely well here. I know the lap times are definitely going to get a lot closer off in qualifying 3 between our top 10. So for now we're holding off with these guys here, see where this is going to go at the end of it. And Simpson so far goes second fastest at 1:19.3. That's about a tenth off of the time that Clarky did. So it's going to be some stiff competition between these two in the race session itself, because I think they were P1, P2 in qualifying 1. On with Beefy right about now, and let's see, Mikey behind of him or in front of him, I'm not sure at the moment. I think Mikey just got started with his lap here actually, so let's have a look at his lap and how that's going to go. He usually gets some very impressive lap times in the race and qualifying sessions as well. So let's see where he goes at the end of this. Trying to have a look on track where Beefy. I think Beefy is a bit in front of him, and that's a purple sector 1 from Mikey so far. So as you said, usually has some pretty good laps. He's aiming for that right about now to make sure that he can put that car over into qualifying 3. Does look a bit cloudy on track, but we're told we're not having any rain, so I don't think it's going to be any rain happening, but probably just going to be cloudy. Does affect track temperature just a bit though. Let's see, we're about to get into sector 2. And that was actually a purple sector 2 off of Mikey's lap so far, so definitely doing pretty well on this lap. Makes it through that corner very well, avoiding a invalidated lap there, and I think it's pretty straightforward getting through the parabolica here in sector 3, and he should be able to make that quite well. Just depends on if he's going to lose any time or not, and doesn't seem like he really lost any time. He might be looking at getting to the top 3 here right about now, and actually gets in top 4, 119.6, a 10th off of Neil's time, so not a bad lap for him so far. Did pretty well on that. And where is Beefy right about now? He's done a 120.4. I'm not sure if he's going to try for another lap on that, but he did on a medium, so definitely not going to try for another lap. I think he's going to get back into the pits with that. Serious Mushroom down at the back here. Hasn't got a lap time in as yet. He's desperately trying to get one in the McLaren. And where is his teammate? I don't think his teammate made it on over, if he even has a teammate on this session. I don't think he made it over to qualifying 2. We'll have a look at the entire grid over on the formation lap when we do get to that point. Still got a bit more to get through with qualifying here before we get over to there. So whoever Optics is out of the session. I'm not sure. Is that just is that someone in the league, or is that someone that just joined off of someone else's PSN account onto the lobby there? I'm not sure if Optics is one of our drivers here for PGL, because I haven't seen that name raised before, so I'm really not sure. I think I'll probably ask in Discord as well, because I'm really not sure who is that. And guys, I think most of our drivers have their lap times in so far. We're on with Callum here right now, trying to get a way faster time in the house. At the moment, he has a 120.2. See how this lap is going to go for him. So Clarky still holds on to the fastest lap in the session, a 119.2, and he's retired from it right about now with 2 minutes left. I think he's quite happy with that. The main focus of qualifying 2 is just to work on your race strategy. Whatever set of tires you want to start the race on, that's what it's all about here in Q2, and just also getting over to qualifying 3 to get the best possible start. So we'll see if that's what's going to happen. But it looks like it's going to be between Clarky and Simpson for provisional pole for the start here of the Italian Grand Prix. We'll see what's going to happen in that case there. And Serious Mushroom says something feels like a part. I'm not sure what he's talking about. And unfortunately, he's out of the session. Down in 15, which means you will not get a spot over in qualifying 3 at this point here. Okay, so just about a minute, I think, now left here in the session. Alright, who else is currently running on track? As I wasn't keeping full attention on this here right now. So where is Neil? I think he's trying to finish another lap. He definitely seems to be on a fast lap here right about now. 20 seconds left in the session. This is going to be his final lap, of course, because you got to be able to get across the finish line before the timer runs out if you want to start your final hot lap around here. So I think that's going to be it. Most of our drivers are already out, so a few drivers still running on track. Possibly a few getting back into the pits at the moment here, and we should be getting over to the qualifying 3 session in just a bit here. Just waiting for I guess for the few drivers who are still running to finish, and that's gonna be it. Okay, so we're just waiting on right about now for the qualifying 2 results, and then we're gonna get on over to Q3 here. So right about now, as it seems, we got Clarky holding on to top spot here in Q2. Simpson second, we got Neil currently third, Mikey is fourth, Vintage fifth, we got Spencer there sixth, seventh is Neil, he's back into the pits already. Got Red Devil in eighth, Callum there ninth, and Beefy there in 10th, barely making that 10th spot there, and I think that's it right about now, because everyone seems to be finished. I think we're just waiting for Nick's car to get into. Yep, and there you go. So you can just get into the garage, and that's gonna be it. Let's have a look quickly at the final results for Q2, and then head on over there. Okay, so fastest lap in Q2 goes to Clarky there so far with his 119.2. Simpson second fastest, 119.3. So these two switch it on over from Q2, going back to Q1. Neil there in third at the moment. Mikey fourth, Vintage in fifth. Spencer 6, Nick 7, Red Devil 8, Calumir 9th, and Beefy in the top 10, going on over to the next session so far. So quite interesting to see how that's working out. And Serious Mushroom saying he's going to have to see what the race brings. Hopefully has much better luck in the race start, as see how that's going to be. And Nick hasn't had any practice on this track for a while, but seems to be doing pretty well so far, so I gotta say, not too bad. We'll see how the race session is gonna go though. It's gonna be a bit interesting with that race start. I'm definitely just to see what's gonna happen and if we're gonna have a driver being taken out of that part of the track itself. Alright, so straight into qualifying 3 right about now. I definitely see some drizzle happening. Someone lied to me. I see drizzle on the track on the pit lane here right about now. We should probably still be able to get out on track with the dry tires. Hopefully, we'll see what that's going to work. Because if we're going to have to run intermediates in this session, it's going to change things up quite a bit. Especially with everyone having a dry setup here at the moment, I think. Let's see what they're going on with. And they're going to get out pretty early here right now. As you can see, everybody's getting out. They want to get out and do a lap on these soft tires. Just in case it gets to the point after the first lap where it's a bit too wet on track and we have to switch on to the intermediates, because the intermediate tires are not as fast as the soft or mediums or even the hards. So this is going to be a bit of an issue here right about now for just about everyone. We know everyone's currently running on that. We're going to leave tires on in this session just to have a look at what these guys have fitted on, and they're going to be in a very much of a rush to get our laps in here, just in case this rain is about to come down a little bit harder, because if it does, they will have to be switching on over to intermediates. And this is qualifying 3. This is a fight for the top 10 starting positions on the grid for the race itself. So wherever they stand at the end of this is where they're going to be starting on the grid, and they definitely want to be starting out front. Of course, right now we're expecting it's going to be between Stinson and Clarky there for P1, P2, compared to what they had going on in qualifying 1 and 2 so far. So let's see what's going to happen with the two of them in qualifying 3. Of course, the weather conditions do change things up quite a bit. Track temperature is going to be a little bit different. It's going to affect the performance of these cars on track a little bit as well. So we'll see what's going to happen. And looks like Stinson is going to be the first one to get a hot lap in. So I'm going to leave that on board with him. As you guys watch that for just a bit, I'll be back in like about 30 seconds. Okay, it's back on. So let's see. He should be finishing off this lap pretty soon. See how that's going to work out. I'm going to try to have a look right now to see if he's having any trouble with the car. I'm not sure if he's having trouble, but he did invalidate the lap there. So That's going to cost him, and that's when you look like some of these drivers are having trouble on track. We got a yellow flag situation going on here as well. Looks like Clark is invalidated as well, so everyone not having the best of luck. But looks like Callum is going to be finishing his lap, possibly get his first time in, and that's a 125.1. Now remember, we were having fastest laps in qualifying one where was a 118.5, and on that same set of soft tires they're doing 125s right about now. So just shows you how much the track temperature has dropped, and it's caused a severe situation here right about now where these guys are not able to get fastest laps as they would expect on the dry tires with a bit of drizzle that we have on track, and it seems to be getting a bit worse, which means in the next 2 to 3 minutes they might have to switch this on over to intermediates to try to get our laps in. We're going to see what's going to happen with that because I'm not sure how well it's working. Welcome to Gamer there joining on the stream. I'm doing pretty well. Hey Games for Life, thanks for joining there as well. Enjoy having you guys on the stream here. Alright, and we got Clark here about to make a move onto the intermediates right about now because he doesn't seem to think it's going to be working out on the soft tires, or it hasn't worked out on his first attempt at it at least. So he's definitely will be getting through a lap with the intermediates. If he does get it on track, we're going to see what's going to happen. Alright, so far Mikey has a 125.1. That's going to be the fastest lap so far. That's provision a pole right about now for the start of this race. Let's see if these intermediates are going to be doing a better job, because we have quite a few cars are starting to switch that over there. And thank you very much to Gamer, who has just donated a £1 donation actually through Super Chat there. So thanks very much for him to that. Also, thank you to Brogarilla, who is now following me. I'm not sure if it's on Facebook or on Twitch at the moment, because you can follow on both. So I'll have to probably check which one it is. It doesn't tell me which one it is, so I'm not even sure. But thanks for him to that. Let's see what's happening with the grid right about now. Everybody is back into the pit lane right about now, so it's quite busy in here. As you can see, all the pit crews are working on the cars at the moment, trying to either get them back into the garage or just switch the tires on over to intermediates here at the moment to see what's going to be transpiring. I think they're waiting just a bit. So at least half of the grid got donation button not working. Why is it not working? Probably the link, I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look at that. See what is happening with it. Either way, I didn't really look much of it. It was supposed to be working, but either way, just leave that for now. We'll figure that one out in a bit. Alright, so 5 drivers got their lap times in. 125.1 from Mikey. Callum with a 125.1 as well. And quite interestingly enough, separated by 0.02 of a second. So very close with the two of them there. Spencer the 125.2, Vintage 126.4, and Red Devil 129.3. And hello to Holly there. Thanks for joining there as well. Alright, in the meanwhile, everyone's getting back out on the intermediates. Let me just have a look at something here. Okay, guys, we're gonna work on that issue maybe a little bit later on. Let's focus and see what's happening here. That was best, and this is currently fittest. So let's see if they're going to improve their lap times compared to what they did on the soft tires earlier on. So we got a few cars. I think I just about most of the cars on the intermediates right about now, trying to get their laps in. So let's see where they're going to be at the end of this. I'm following on with Clarky here right about now in a Red Bull. Not sure how much grip he's having on track, and seems to be definitely having some trouble keeping the car stable getting through here. We got 3.5 minutes left in qualifying 3, and this is a bit of a disaster for I think just about everyone in the session right about now in terms of getting their best possible lap time. And as you see, we locks up the tires just a bit, breaking into that turn. So they're definitely having some trouble both on softs and on the intermediates getting through here. And welcome to Gia there as well. Thanks for joining on the chat there. So this is going to be interesting for qualifying 3. The rain has come down in just a bit of a way we did not really expect, and it definitely is affecting these cars on track here at the moment. Currently, Mikey still holds on to the fastest lap there, which he did on the softs at 125.1. So these guys need the intermediates to now start giving a way faster lap time than that, which I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be working for them. But waiting to see what Clock is going to get as he gets across the line. Has not invalidated this lap so far. Alright, so he's about to get across the line here. Let's see if he's able to get a time in that's possibly and puts him into P5 at 127.5. It doesn't look like the intermediates are going to be working as well as expected here. So let's see what's going to happen. Looks like Spencer got a pretty good lap though. I think he just went up to actually, let's have a look if that is on best. No, that's not the best so far. So we know they're all running on the intermediate. So I want to see where they're going to be at the end of this. We're going to leave it on that. So we know they're all running on the intermediate. So let's see where they do get to at the end of this session. Got a minute, 40 seconds left. And it's not going to do them much luck in terms of getting the best possible time in here. Mikey might just have some luck to be starting on provisional pole here. If that 125.1 is going to hold up. Callum there had a 125.106 behind of him in second on the softs as well. So it's holding up pretty well so far. And then Spencer had his time, a 125.2 on the softs as well. And is holding away pretty well for now. Vintage is out of the session as well as Beefy there. Beefy didn't get a lap time in, which means potentially he's going to be starting down the back in P10. So still really not that bad of a position to be in, but we're going to see how well it works out for him. And goes off track just a bit. So Vintage is going to hold off for P4. Stinson down to 5th right about now. 127.0 from him. Clarky in 6th, 127.5. And these are the times on the intermediate tires so far. There's Neil House out on track. Nick with a 127.6 on the intermediates. Red Devil 129.3. And I think this is how our starting grade is going to look. Looks like Stinson and Clarky are going to have to work their way up on this one. They're separated by about 5/10 in terms of lap times right about now. And we got just about 6 seconds left here in the session. Will, and looks like Neil just barely makes it across the line to get that final lap started there. So let's see if he's able to possibly get a good qualifying time here. Possibly make it up maybe into 7th or 8th if he's lucky on this one here. We'll see how it goes. He was a bit, oh, and there he goes, not getting enough traction to get that car going again. I think he went a bit too fast on the power there as well. So that's going to be it for him. Probably already retired the car, actually didn't waste time with that one there. Clarky here going way wide on the track. As you can see, that Red Bull is sliding all over the place right about now. So it's very difficult with the conditions that they have there. Their race start should be dry, I assume, which I think they're all praying for at this point here right about now, because they don't seem to be wanting that possible wet start to the race, which is going to change things up quite a bit if it does happen. But they should be dry off for their entire race session. I'm not sure if you're going to be experiencing any drizzle in the rain, but I think that's going to be it. We're going to have a look at the top 10 for qualifying 3, which really was not as exciting as I think these guys expected it to be. So we got Mikey starting on provisional pole here at 125.1, which he did on the sauce. Callum there second on the grid there, 125.106, 2,000 of a second time difference between him and Mikey. So very interesting to see that. Spencer there is going to be starting third. Vintage will start fourth. Stinson in fifth. Right now Clarky is sixth. Nick seventh. Red Devil eighth. Beefy there ninth. And Neil currently 10th as we have it there. So far so good with that. We're just gonna wait for the timer to just run out there and head straight on over into the race session. And yep, let's see how the races are gonna go for the rest of the grid. We'll be having the formation lap, so we should be able to have a look at the entire starting grid. All 18 drivers. Hopefully we have at least 1 or 2 more join on. Should be having a full grid with that. If we do, we'll see how that's gonna work. And she is saying the link work. I checked the link works, but I'm not sure if you try to donate through that Streamlabs link if it works. I've never done it. I've never had one come through that before. Usually we have it through super chat and that way, but I'm not sure about that one. We will have to have someone test that one out to see if it actually works. Because it's actually better if you guys use the Streamlabs link to donate rather than using the super chat on YouTube itself. Anyway, we got to get that one figured out. We'll see what's happening with that. Alright, so waiting for a loading time right about now. I think everyone's already on the grid. Just getting their setups locked in, and we're just selecting fuel, tires, pit stops, whatnot, and we should be getting going there. Okay, so getting started with our formation lap right about now. We do still have only our 18 drivers on track. Let me just make sure all my stats are up, that they do need to be up, because I'm going to be using lap data there. Tires, we're going to put tires on here so we can see what's going to happen. Hopefully, I'm praying to God we don't have a race start glitch by the time these guys get all the way back around and have to restart the entire lobby for that. We'll see what's going to happen. Anyway, let's get on over to the starting grid as we have it there right about now. I don't think we need that anymore. So Mikey is starting in P1 for the grid there right now. Very interesting start that he got. I think most possibly because of the weather conditions there in qualifying 3. But yep, he's getting that start there. Not a bad start for him. He's going to have to try very hard to hold on to it going down into turn 1 though. So Mikey's starting P1. Callum is going to start second on the grid. Spencer starting in third. We got Vintage will start fourth. A very good qualifying position for him. Simpson there starting in fifth. With Clarky just behind him there in 6th. So I think these two, we got to keep an eye on them going for the first lap. We'll see what's going to happen. Nick there starting 7th. Red Devil will start 8th. Beefy starting in 9th. And Neil starting 10th. Now looking at the top 10, we got a mix of strategies. A few of these cars on the softs and most of them probably on the medium there as we can see. So those on the medium definitely running a bit of a longer stint before doing a pit stop. Of course, they have to account for safety cars in this race and VSCs because we never know what's going to happen. Then we got Maddie starting 11th. Waxwing starts 12th. Broke Gorilla starting 13th. We got Optics will start 14th. Serious Mushroom starting 15th. Dan Murphy starts 16th. And that's both McLarens there, 15th and 16th. Not the best possible starting positions for them. So they're going to have to make that up in a race. Softdar in the Racing Point starting 17th. I don't think he has a teammate on this one here. Extreme is starting down there in 18th. I think he had a qualifying ban, which is why he didn't really participate in the qualifying session. Anyway, that's what the starting grid looks like so far. Just make sure our stats are the way we want them. Now, in terms of tires, I'm going to take that off and put this on position change. You guys will be able to keep an eye on that as they get started with the race, because I'm going to be a bit more focused to see if anything's going to happen on the race start itself in terms of incidents getting around to turn 1. So I think we're going to focus a bit on the front of the field through the run down to turn 1 and then switch it on to the midfield going down to the back. For turns 1 and 2, because I think that's where we should be able to catch any possible incidents that are going to happen in the session there. Let's see how much position these guys are about to make up on it. We're going to keep an eye, and hopefully we're not having a glitch here. Oh, there we go. So lights are starting to go off right about now. We're going to keep an eye on Mikey and Callum, see who gets a better possible start. I don't know why they're ghosted. And we are fine to go. They seem to get a bit of an even start. Mikey's on the left. We got Callum on the right, trying to get ahead a bit. He's going to pull off into the slipstream just a bit. And going quite interesting as Stinson already up to 2nd place on the grid. And we got some cars going. I know someone went wide. I think that was possibly Broke Giller that went wide. I'm not even sure. But we did have a few cars going side by side into turn 1. So far so good, as I don't think anyone actually is out of the race so far. But we did have quite a bit of incident happening going through turn 1. I know we have some cars with contact. Definitely some damage as well. The entire grid seems to be doing pretty well. That's a bit of contact between our McLaren and the Mercedes there. Someone lost part of the front wing. I think it was Waxwing there. I'm not sure. Trying to have a look if he has damage on his car. He did lose the left side of the end plate, so that's gone. This is going to cause him some performance issues in the race itself with that. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be able to hold off out with it. Out in front, Mikey still leads in P1 right where he started. Stinson all the way up to second though, and Callum is down by a position in third. Clarky Flood follows Stinson up a few positions, but he's made it up to fourth, made 2 positions up, and that's going to be it for him. Just about a similar change happening with most of the cars on the grid. Some cars losing position, some cars gaining. Going back up here to Callum though, he's trying to get past Clarky here at the moment for a 3rd place and a potential podium position. So not looks like it's going too well for him. But going down the pit straight, we'll see what's going to happen with that. Fastest lap goes to Mikey. So far, that's going to be switched around quite a bit, as we're going to change this on over back to tires right about now, so we can keep an eye and see what's happening with that. The leaderboard just got mixed up, so let's just ignore that for a bit and just follow on with a few cars we're following here right now and see what's happening with the race itself. And looks like Stinson is trying to get past Mikey here for the lead of the race. That's not for P3, no worries about that. And looks like he actually got it done. Yep, he did actually get that done. So our leaderboard is back sorted again. So Stinson just went past Mikey there for the lead of the race. Wasn't too long before that was going to happen, but Mikey did hold it off as long as he could. Now into lap 2, as he's now going to start to get a gap out front, already about 5 tenths ahead. We got Clarky trying to follow him though, down in third here at the moment. He's gotten past Callum as well. He's up into third and about 9 tenths behind Mikey. And Stinson has a penalty out front, so does Brogarella down at the back of the grid. Quite interestingly enough, this definitely will affect Stinson in the race and affect the position that he's going to get. We got something happen down at the back because there we get both cars are out. I'm not sure what happened at the corner there, but that's Beefy and Dan Murphy out of the race. Looks like they were both involved in an incident and possibly with another car or 2, I'm not sure. But 2 cars out at the exact same time. A full safety car right about now happening here. And we got quite a few cars into the pits. Race leader Stinson went into the pits there as well. And he's getting off the mediums, going onto the softs. Looks like he's aiming for a 2-soft strategy, because I highly doubt those softs are going to make it all the way to the end of the race here. Now, this race usually being 27 laps would have most likely been a 1-stop strategy for most of these cars. Of course, they have to account for safety cars and VSCs and damage to the cars as well. So it's going to change things up quite a bit. Stinson is back out in 10th right about now. So quite a few cars in front of him did not pit. This puts Clarky up into the lead of the race because he didn't take a pit stop. He's going to focus with his 1-stop strategy. So we're going to see if that works. Looks like Beefy is left with the only words to say is wow right about now, because I'm not even sure what happened between him and Dan Murphy with that incident there, but quite sure something is going to be reported at the end of this to the stewards about that. Because seemed to be quite a bit, had to be a few cars involved in that at the same time. I don't think it was just the 2 of them, because both cars just parked at the side of the track just like that, and I think Beefy's entire left suspension was gone. So I think it was quite a bad incident as well. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. So far still under the safety car as we have it here right now. And going on, grid has changed up quite a bit, because we got Clarky now leading the race. We got Spencer in second now, Vintage running third, Nick in fourth, Maddie fifth, Salvador up to 6th at the moment, Optics up to 7, Sears Merchant running 8th, Extremist all the way up to 9th, he started in 18th, Simpson down to 10th after taking a stop, so is Mikey takes a stop and he's down to 11, Callum in 12, Red Devil 13, Neil 14, Waxwing 15, Amber Gorilla down to 16, Beefy and Dan Murphy out of the race unfortunately. And they're going to have to just continue on with that. Going into lap 4 here right now, still under the safety car. Hopefully at the end of this lap, we'll have that sorted through and get back to racing again. And I'm not sure if we're going to have any more safety cars, so we'll probably do this right about now. Switch this on over here and have a look. quickly at the standings as they are, because right about now we got Alfa Romeo leading the constructor standings with about, I'm not even able to see it at this point here, so I'll probably have to switch. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta look at it from a different angle because I'm not even able to see it here. Alright, I got it. My apologies about that. So Alfa Romeo leading with 354 points at the moment. Red Bull is behind them in second with 349 points. Now that point difference is really not too much, and we got a few more races left before the season closes off as well. So it's going to be interesting to see which of these two teams are going to be winning that Constructors Championship there. Mercedes down in third with 289 points. We got McLaren there, 176 points in fourth. AlphaTauri in fifth, 124. We got Ferrari currently sixth with 122 points. Got Renault in seventh with 115 points, and just 1 point behind that is Williams in 8th with 114. Haas there, 112 points in ninth. Racing Point currently 10th with 61 points at the moment. And safety car is going to be in on this lap, as I can see it on my end with that one there. So we know we're getting back racing in just about less than a minute or so. So if we do have another safety car, we'll probably have a look at the driver standings a bit later on, as well, as you guys can see that for at least for now. So let's switch this back over here and get back to the racing side of things. So we should be finishing off this final sector under the safety car here and getting back racing into lap 5. That does give us about 22 laps more racing to go before we get to the end of this race, and it's going to be quite interesting. Of course, the driver standings as well, as notice that it's quite close between a few drivers, and it's going to be interesting to see how well they fight for points going down to the end. Beefy, though, unfortunately, I think he has quite a good amount of points, but it's going to cost him a bit now in this race. He's not going to have any points on this race finish because he's not able to finish this race. Leading out front, clock, he gets a bit of a gap going on through. Well, following on with Sofdar in the Racing Point there, you can't miss it, that bright pink car. And he's between two Ferraris at the moment, which really I don't think is a good place to be. It's never a good idea to be between two teammates. One front, one behind. It definitely is going to cause you some problems, because if one in front might just decide to actually hold you up a little bit. And we do have Sofdar trying to get by here right now, having a difficult time. Extreme is getting pretty close off behind Stinson, and I think he's having some trouble with Serious Mushroom coming behind, because he was trying to get alongside him to get past and might just be able to do that. We're trying to keep an eye mostly on the midfield at the moment, as out in front these guys are getting away pretty well. As you can see, Clarky is 1.5 seconds ahead of Spencer at the moment. Vintage running there in third, about 8 tenths behind. Not too far behind, but he's trying to catch up as much as he can there. And Serious Mushroom trying to close back that gap once again. He does have Mikey coming pretty close behind him. These guys are behind are all on fresh tires at the moment. Callum and Red Devil as well. Only 1 lap done on those mediums that they have on there so far. Optics and Stinson are running out in front with Soft Seal. Optics has not taken a stop as yet. As there goes Serious Mushroom alongside with Mike. He's trying to fight for that position. The Mercedes has the outside, and looks like he's going to get a position up against the McLaren. Does get up into P10, and that Serious Mushroom down a position. Unfortunately, fastest lap being switched around quite a bit. Let's have a look what's happening out front, because both Ferraris are now going side by side into turn 1. How well is that going to go for both of them? Because Optics and Maddie there, and Optics passing the inside and being switched back around right about now. There goes Stinson getting past Sofdar as well. He's up 2 positions within the last sector there. So he's getting positions like crazy, already ahead of Optics as well. I'm not sure how this guy is flying through the field so quickly, but he's fighting his way back out front at the moment. So he's going to try to get past Maddie next and possibly get into 5th position in the race. See if that's actually going to work for him. He's only about a 10th behind. So running pretty well in a Renault to get by and get so many positions up. His teammate Spencer is currently running in second, and there he goes side by side with the Ferrari, takes the inside and gets the overtake done quite cleanly as well. I think he got a penalty there though, because or is that a penalty he had from the start of the race? Let me have a look here right now. That's the same penalty that he had from the start of the race coming to this point. So that 3-second penalty will cost him a position if he's not able to actually get a 3-second gap on the car behind. We got Sofdar down in the back there trying to get past. Optics apparently side by side, both of them are going again. And I don't think Sofdar wanted to lose so many positions. He's going to have the outside though. Will be able to get the overtake done. So far it's not able to. He's going to have to hold it back into 8th. Possibly try to see if he's going to have a good run down into turn 1 here through the pit straight, and let's see if it's going to be working with that. DRS should be coming back online right about now, hopefully, for these guys, because they're definitely going to be needing that to work with here as well. as he has to hold out the position for now. A heavy braking zone, have to be very careful to not outbrake yourself on that one. You will cut the track and you will get a penalty if that does happen. If some of you are wondering why is it that they're not braking extra late and trying to get an overtake done, it's a very tight corner. They have to be very careful. I'm very happy you guys are enjoying that in the chat there as well. Has been an interesting race from the start to this point. We're going to see how it works out for Stinson though, because he's up into 5th already. Didn't get to start the position he wanted. Clarky all the way up front in P1 leading at the moment. And unfortunately, I think I just saw Spencer get a penalty out front. So that's going to cost him a bit as well. So both Renaults now have a penalty, which I assume is a 3-second penalty. I want to see what's going to happen. Is Spencer going to allow his teammate to go by him at this point here right about now? Because they're running with a gap of 1.4 seconds behind them. Of course, Spencer doesn't want to be losing his position here, but his teammate seems to be much faster running on those soft tires. So he might just end up allowing him to just go by. We'll see if they're going to be doing a switch here at Renault, because it's going to be interesting to see how that strategy works, because Stinson is after Clarky at the moment, needs to get back into the lead of the race to get ahead of him, because he does have to do a second pit stop in this race. Of course, Clarky did not stop under the safety car, which is it's going to slow him down a bit, but he has to do his one mandatory stop. And Stinson has to do another stop here with running on the softs. I don't think he's going to be able to get to the end of the race, which means both of them having to stop. He's going to have to get ahead of Clarky before Clarky does his pit stop here and try to keep it in P1 if he can. Unfortunately, Harley Beefy is out of the race. Had a bit of an accident earlier on. I'm not sure who was at fault for it as yet, but he is out. That's Beefy and Dan Murphy. Both of them are out of the race. They went out at the same time, which caused the safety car earlier on. Stinson about to even just get past his teammate off his own wheel here right now. He's going to go around the outside of the Parabolica and gets around quite well. So that's Spencer down to 3rd, and his teammate in the other Renault up into 2nd place in this race. And he's now 2.6 seconds behind Clarky. Has a few laps to get this done right about now. Needs to try and get as close as he can to Clarky. Try to get that overtake done before Clarky does a pit stop here. And he's going to try and get him on a pit stop somehow and just try to get back P1. But I think it's going to be between Clarky and Stinson for the race win at this point here. And welcome to Wildflower in the chat there as well. Nice to have you on. Let's switch on down to Nick here. We got both AlphaTauris running behind of each other right now. Vintage running 4th, Nick running in 5th, and he's only about 2 tenths behind. So is he going to be overtaking his teammate here? I'm not sure. Will the team actually ask them to do a switch? I'm not sure, because Vintage on the soft tires, but his teammate on the mediums is going past him right about now. So side by side those two go. Looks like Nick gets ahead and is somehow finding more pace on the medium tires right about now. I don't know, is Vintage not having enough grip on those softs, or are they really starting to wear out already? But something's happening. Out in front, we still got a gap of about at least 2.3 seconds behind Clarky and Stinson, and it's going to be quite an interesting fight between those two for the race win this evening, because Stinson has a 3-second penalty, so that's going to cost him a bit. He's going to have to get past Clarky when all the pit stops are over with and make sure he can stay 3 seconds ahead. Otherwise, he is going to lose the race win to Clarky there. We'll see how that works out. Vintage still keeping up with his teammate here right about now. He's going to have to do a pit stop very soon. It's a 27-lap race. We're on lap 10, at least before we get to the halfway point. These guys have to do a pit stop and switch on over. Those who are on the softs are going to be switching on over to the mediums. Those on the mediums probably doing a very long run and then switching to the softs to go to the end of the race. We might see a few cars using the hards. As we can see, Red Devil just switch on to the hards down at the back of the grid. He's in 16. Waxwing, unfortunately, is out of this race here as well. I'm not sure what happened to him, if he retired from the session or went off somewhere on track, but just didn't cause a safety car or a VSC. That was probably just a yellow flag on track. But 3 drivers lost from this race so far. We're going to finish with what we got going at the moment. Down to Mike here in 10th. He's chasing after the House of Extremists, who hasn't done a stop in this race so far. Is running in a pretty good position. Of course, we'll have to do that pit stop. It's going to cost him a little bit when he does do it. So we'll see how that's going to work for him there. And it is actually some intense racing, getting this close to the end of the season here for PGL, because this is round 20 of 23. I think we're going to have round 21 next week, and then round 22 and 23. I think we're doing a double header race for the final one, so it's going to be done the other week, well, the following week I would say, not next week, the other week. And we'll see how that's going to go. It's going to be a bit interesting with that as well. I don't think anybody wants to miss that one, because 2 races in one is going to be a lot of fun to watch the end of the season and see what is going to happen and who's going to be winning the driver standings, the driver's constructor and the constructor standings as well. We'll see what's going to work out, because right now it's quite close with the constructors. The driver standings not as much, but it's still quite close with quite a few drivers in terms of getting positions. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Maddie here getting pretty close off the vintage here, about 3/10 at the moment, so he's getting pretty close. He'll definitely be looking to get an overtake done pretty soon. But out in front, Clark is about to lose the lead of the race here to Simpson, who is alongside him, gets the position on the inside. And going into turn 1, he's going to take back the racing line, but looks like Clark is trying to switch it back around. He's fighting him through turn 1 to try and get it back. I'm not sure there was any contact. I think they had it pretty cleanly through, but Simpson holds on to the lead, going on through on board with Clark at the moment. He's lost the lead of the race, but what he has to do now is keep the gap as close as he can within a second, if he can right now, until he does take his pit stop at this point here, because he's going to run quite a few more laps maybe before taking a stop. I assume probably until maybe lap 17, or maybe anywhere between 15 to 17 is where he might be taking a pit stop and going onto the soft tires to go on to the end of the race. And he's going to have to hope that he's able to catch back up, and he's going to be able to possibly get back the lead. And being he's, oh man, he has a penalty as well. That's definitely going to cost him right now. How much penalty did he actually get? And he got a 3-second penalty there as well. So far as we can see with penalties, it's getting a bit crazy with that. Not overly crazy, but just a bit. Simpson has 6 seconds of penalties now. Clarky has 3. Spencer, who is Simpson's teammate, has 3 seconds as well. It's going to cost him a bit. Serious Mushroom with 3. Neil has 11. Bro Gorilla, I don't know what he's doing with 16 seconds of penalties at this point. He's running at 12. It's going to cost him a bit in the race. Callum and Red Devil down at the back. 3 seconds each. We'll see how that's going to work. Clarky so far is keeping that gap right where it needs to be, before he does get on move on with his pit stop. So we'll see where that's going to go. Let's go back down to the rest of the grid here. Softar in 6th at the moment in the racing point. The only racing point on track. And gotta give him credit, he's running pretty well in the race so far. As we can see, those green arrows and red arrows do show when positions are gained or lost in the race, so you can actually figure out who is gaining and who is losing. We got Serious Mushroom into the pit lane at the moment, probably going to switch off those mediums. And there you go, he's going to go on to the soft tires to go to the end of the race. We're just about the halfway point of the race right about now on lap 13. Going on through, we got another half of this race to go on through, get to lap 27 before we close this off. But so let's see what's going to happen by the time we get around to that. Softar though, 5/10 is what the gap is between him and Optics out in front in the Ferrari there. So let's see if he's able to catch up. Has a pretty good gap going. Needs to make sure he gets every corner right. Doesn't want to be making a mistake. Doesn't want to be taking a penalty. And unfortunately, Spencer is out of race. What happened out front? And there is Spencer's car in the side of the track. Unfortunately, the race leader, I'm not sure what happened. I think he might have taken himself out of the race there. He might have just lost control of that car and slid into the barriers on the side. I know Clarky was pretty close after him, but I don't think he was that close to cause an incident. So I'm not sure if they had any contact or if it was just a self-inflicted incident there. But it might have just been caused by himself. I'm not sure. We'll probably get word on that later on. But I think that's good news for Clarky though. He's looking pretty good at winning this race now. Softar running in 4th at the moment, 2.7 seconds behind Nick. Has some time to catch up with. Let's see how that's going to work for him. Trying to see where our closer gaps are at here at the moment. And looks like it's with Nick here, who's about 7/10 behind Spencer at the moment. Okay, it's back to the race here. Sorry about that. So let's see what's happening. So lap 14 at the moment, we got a bit of a gap starting to form between most of our drivers as we have it so far. Borgarella, I think, is the only one within a second of the car in front of him. But I think gaps are going to start to change just a bit because we're going to have pit stops start to happen right about now. Everyone's going to be diving into the pits who needs to take a stop from those mediums or from those softs and switch it on over. Clarky out in front here hasn't taken a pit stop all race. And he has 14 laps done on these set of tires so far. Of course, these mediums can handle it pretty well, but he will be taking a pit stop at some point here right about. As I said, I expect him to be stopping somewhere between lap 15 and lap 17. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. And for everyone watching the stream, if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, please guys make sure that you do leave a like on the stream. Feel free to share the link out. And mostly you generally stream on YouTube, but we're gonna start to see what we can do about this in the coming weeks, for now at least. And someone just went a bit wide into the barriers there, and that's someone out of the race, unfortunately. Who was that? I'm trying to figure out which car that was. That was one of the Alfa Romeos out. I'm not sure, is he entirely out of the race or not? Actually, no, he's not out of the race. He's still running, and that was Red Devil. I think he might retire that car right to the side of the track, but he should be taking it back into the pits. He lost the entire front wing, and I think that's quite similar to how Stinson actually was taken out of this race. I think it was quite something similar that happened to him. Throwing the car into the barriers on the side. I honestly thought that Alfa Romeo was out of this race for good there, because it seemed like the suspension almost broke off. Not sure if he has any flat tires, but the entire front wing is gone. I'm not sure if Red Devil will want to continue in this race. I think he might take that car back into the pits and retire it. That was a virtual safety car for that incident, which helped a few cars take pit stops, especially the race leader there, Clarky. He went into the pits and he's gone onto the soft tires. I think he was just waiting for something like that to happen. Mikey, of course, did not take a stop. He is still running out front, and he's now leading this race by about 3.2 seconds at least. Let's see how that's going to work. So let's see if Red Devil is going to continue on with this race. He's having a front wing change right about now. And this is how much extra time it actually takes in the pits when you have to do a wing change like that. Changing the tires doesn't really take that long. It takes just about 2 to 3 seconds to get all 4 wheels off and on back again. And it looks like he's going to continue on in the race now. Alright, so let's get back out front. We got Mikey now leading this race. Now, the thing is, he's done 12 laps on his medium tires so far, which means I highly doubt those tires are going to last him actually all the way to the end of the race, which means he'll have to do another stop. It's going to put him quite a few positions down. I'm not sure how much positions he's going to be going down once he takes that pit stop. We'll see how that works for him. But Clarky running in second. He's looking pretty good at finishing on the podium and getting a possible race win here. But he does have that penalty. Spencer with a penalty as well. Sabda with a penalty. So does Nick as well. Optics as well. I have quite a few cars with penalties right now. Mikey's into the pits on this current lap, which puts Clarky back into the lead, and he's going to be just a bit ahead of the car behind. So let's see what that gap is going to be like as Spencer is coming around the pit lane right about now, back onto that straight, and let's see where he goes. He's about 10.5 seconds behind. And thank you to Scooby for now subscribing to the channel there. I think he has subscribed to YouTube. So thanks to him for doing that. Fun to see when you guys actually get all of that done in there. So a lot of notifications keep coming up, but at least I know exactly what's happening around here right about now. So thanks to you guys for all of you doing that. All of you who are leaving a like on the stream, appreciate that very much. And yep, we do have a lot of penalties here against for life, and we might have a few more before getting to the end of this. We got about 10 laps remaining in this race at this point here right now. Spencer, a big gap between him and Clarky out front, both of them on the fresh soft tires, and that's going to take them all the way to the end of the race. Of course, it's going to be a bit difficult for Spencer to catch up, but let's see how fast he's going to be able to catch up here. He's going to have to try and get up as much as he can, and that was another 3-second penalty for Spencer for going a little bit too wide off of that exit there. Clarky gets the fastest lap in the Red Bull out front so far. Sofdar currently running in third, looking to get a podium position at the end of this. Let's have a look at penalties. Oh boy, and that is not looking good for Spencer there. 11 seconds of penalties is going to throw him out of the podium positions here. Remember, podium positions only go for P1, P2, and P3, and 11 seconds is not going to keep him in the top 3. It's going to push him out of that. When that's going to mean Clark is going to be finishing P1 as it looks so far. It looks like Sofdar might be able to take away second place, and Nick will be able to take away third on the podium unless Maddie has a less than a 3-second gap, which he currently has. He will be able to take away third place on the podium from him. But we're quite a way away from that right about now. Let's focus a bit more on the race and see what's going to happen by the time we get a bit further on here in this session. Trying to follow on with who has a close gap right about now. It looks like Nick has a pretty close gap, less than a second behind him with Sofdar there. I see Nightbot is having his time of his life right about now in chat. I'll probably have to slow him down just a bit. And probably have to have him set up for some other stuff as well. What's happening right about now? It looks like Sofdar is about to lose a position to Nick here right now. Nick taking it on the inside, forcing his way on through to third. And looks like Sofdar is going to try to fight it back, but not able to. Still running behind, so have to just take the race line. Hopefully some DRS advantage might actually help them to get that position over and up back into third place. We'll see what's going to happen, because both of them having a penalty will cost him here. Spencer, though, with that 11 seconds of penalties, it's definitely is going to kill him through with this race. I'm not sure what position he's going to be dropping down to, but he definitely will be losing out on the podium position there. And it's been a horrible day so far. He got a safety car. Something's happened on track somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. I think we're having a look at there right now. I wonder if it's the incident that just happened with Red Devil. Once again, he lost the entire front wing. Was it Red Devil that caused the safety car? It looked like it might have been him. He lost his entire front wing for the second time running in this race. I think that corner really doesn't like him. He really is not having luck. I think it happened on the exact same corner once again. He's getting back into the pits, and I think that's Clarky into the pits here as well. The race leader is back into the pits once again. He's only done 2 laps on his previous set of tires that he's on. Now 3 laps on them. And looks like he's going on to a fresh set to go to the end of the race here right now. And Spencer getting in will be serving at least a 5-second penalty. He probably do a 5-second stop-go penalty before getting back out on track. Pit lane is going to get a little bit busy here right about now with a safety car happening at this late point in the race. Everyone's going to try to get onto a set of fresh new tires, and that's it. They're doing a 5-second stop-go penalty before working on the car. And now he's getting back out. Fortunately, he didn't have to change his front wing. So a bit of change up on track here right now. As you can see, Sofdar is now leading the race out front. Behind the safety car still, because we're not back racing as yet. We're on lap 20 at the moment. So Sofdar now leads out front behind the safety car. Maddie now runs in second. Now these two guys did not stop under this safety car. So they've done about 3 laps on their current tires. And they got another 7 laps to do. And they will do about 5 of those laps of racing with at least 2 of them following under the safety car, or maybe 6 laps racing. We'll see how it goes. But Clarky now runs in third on the grid on very fresh soft tires. So he's looking at getting back into the lead of this race in the final few laps. And let's see if he's going to be able to do that. We got Mikey running fourth. without any penalties, so he's looking pretty good so far. Maddie there, not having a penalty, and he's up into second, is looking at getting a race win if he's able to keep it at that point there right now. But of course, if Clarky gets back into the lead, he's going to have to follow Clarky to the finish line and keep it within 3 seconds to get that race win away from him. Nick here running 5th, not a bad position. Spencer now out in 6th, and let's see what the penalties look like for him, because I know he did serve a 5-second penalty, and now he only has a 6-second penalty to deal with here. So let's see if that's going to be able to keep him in a good position in the race. Optics only a 3-second penalty. Vintage none so far, and he is running 8. Serious Mushroom in 9th with 6 seconds. Neil there in 10th with 9 seconds of penalties. We got Extremist with in 11, no penalties for him. Broke Gorilla, unfortunately, 25 seconds of penalties is going to push him all the way down to 14th. And then Callum there 3 seconds. Red Devil only 6 seconds, but lost his front wing in the race 2 times already. But I gotta say, Matt is looking pretty good. I think Beefy is on point for him here right now as well, because he's looking pretty good at getting a race win this evening, running in 2nd place, and a car in front of him having a 3-second penalty. Even if Clarky gets past, I think he stands a pretty good chance of still staying on the podium here, and possibly still getting that race win, just because of the penalty situation as it is. Now we're going to take penalties off and focus a bit on what's going to happen by the time we are ready to get back started with this race here. And if at all possible, let me just have a look. I think we can have a look at least at the top 10 in terms of the driver standings so far. Or where they're running. So they're running in, I don't think they're going to be getting back racing right away. We'll have a look at that. And let's switch on back over to the standings so far as it is. And let's see what we got going on. So far as we have it, Mikey is leading the driver standings with 255 points. We got Mr. Rage currently 2nd, not racing today unfortunately, 216 points. Beefy running 3rd in the driver standings with 208 points, and unfortunately not finishing this race is costing him quite a bit here right now. Walker running 4th, 163 points, not racing today as well. Maddie there running 5th right now, 116 points, and he needs some more points here. Dan Murphy in 6th at the moment on the driver standings, 95 points. Nick there 7th with 92. He might have a good chance of getting ahead. Sofdar 8th right now to 89 points. We got Mushroom there in 9th with 48 points. Vintage in 10th right now, 33 points as it is. And I'm just going to focus on the top 10 at least for now, because I really didn't pay attention. But I think we're about to get back racing here, because I see the safety car is going back into the distance. So let's get back on the live side of the screen. And yep, let's have a look at that, as it's going to be... Yeah, definitely we're getting back restarted. The safety car is already getting back into the pits. And I think Sofdar is slowing down the entire grid out front. As you can see, everyone is a bit bunched up. He's going to be the first one to get back going as they get around the parabolic here right about now. I think he's already stepped on it, and he's back going again. He's trying to get a gap going. And Clark is already up into 2nd place before they get across the line. So I'm not sure, was that actually allowed, or will he have to give that position back there? Because there's supposed to be no overtaking before they get across the line. So let's see what's happening. I'm not even sure what's happening with that. But that will count as giving the position back. And he takes it back again. I think that's what he actually tried to do as well. But we'll see how that works out for them to be. So unfortunately, Maddie down to 3rd. But I think he still stands a good chance of getting a podium position here. He has a 1.3 second gap to Clarky there, who is currently in 2nd. Does have a penalty as well. Trying to have a look at the rest of the grid down below this and see what's happening out front. Sofdar still leads though, as I got Nick trying to get side by side right about now with Mikey for 4th place in the race. And that's looks like Mikey might be able to have the inside. He might get the position up, but Nick takes his back. Actually holds on to 4th place pretty well and loses the car right where, oh, and there we go. We got a bit of incident happening there. This might be result in a safety car, a virtual safety car. I'm not sure. Nick losing the control of his car, losing most of his front wing at this point. And he's going to have to go into the pits there. Okay, so back out in front trying to have a look on what's happening here. I think that was the same point where Red Devil lost his front wing both times, is where Nick went off there. you do tend to lose the way of the car if you do take that turn in, well, I guess in a bit of a wrong way. We got some more penalties being handed out in this race here as well. Sofdar about 7/10 behind Clarky right now, who's leading the race, and Maddie about 1.8 seconds behind still. So he's looking pretty good at still getting a podium position in the race here. Might be able to get second place or even get his way back up into P1 because of the penalties that those two out front have. We'll see how that's going to work for him, but so far it's looking pretty good. Going back down to Optics here, I think he has a pretty close gap with Mikey here for 4th place. Trying to have a look and see what's happening with that. Now we do have our DRS back online. I was just trying to have a look and see if that's back online or not. So that DRS advantage is going to help. We got Mikey on the threat of losing that position right about now. Optics takes the inside and looks like he should be able to get that done. Maddie just in front of all of that. So let's see if he's going to be affected in any way. Because the Mercedes gets to hold on to that position so far and continues on in P4. That's an extremely close gap between Optics and Mikey so far, so I don't think that's going to go anywhere right away. I think Optics definitely is trying very hard right about now and pushing as much as he can to get that position up, even with the penalty situation that they do have going on here. He's pushing as much as he can right now to try and get into 4th place in this race. That goes a bit wide on that. I don't think that actually costs another penalty, but still do have to be a bit careful. Spencer is about to get past the Ferrari of Optics here. He's trying to go around the outside. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get that move done, but he might just get it done going down the straight here. Let's have a look if he has the advantage. He does have the DRS advantage and will pull just behind Optics and try to take it apart. And now he's forced to take it on the outside, but looks like he still might be able to get it done. But the Ferrari is going to push back on the inside, and there goes the Renault on the outside of the second turn, and looks like he gets it wrong. Of course, Optics is still fighting in our back through. We got Serious Mushroom in the Renault. He's fighting through behind them as well. So it's a three-car fight right about now for P5 in the race. And that is allowing Mikey to try and get ahead a little bit if he can. So Simpson got ahead up into, Spencer got up into 5th. Optics in 6th. And Serious Mushroom still following behind in 7th at the moment. Trying to keep as close as he can. We're on lap 25 or 27. Getting very close after the end of the race. Gorilla seems to have a pretty close gap down in the back and just got past Callum there as well. So he's doing pretty good, even though down in the back of the grid, he's still running pretty well. And hello to Liam Seaman there in the chat. I just noticed that actually, sorry. I was a bit focused on what's going on there. So he wants a shout out to, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Bibu for his birthday today. So happy birthday to him. Hope he has a good one. And who just switched positions? I think someone just switched positions down here. I think between Spencer and Maddie possibly. I think the two of them are fighting for a position for P4. I was trying to figure out what's going on with that. Sorry, Liam. I just saw that message. I wasn't really paying attention to that one. Alright, so I think we're going to switch back to penalties right about now because we're on the penultimate lap. So lap 26 or 27, let's see what's happening out front. Clarky leads right now with about 2.3 seconds is what the gap is between him and Sofdar. Then we got Mikey running in 3rd without any penalties behind Sofdar, 2.7 seconds. He needs to keep that gap within 3 seconds right about now in order to finish 2nd on the grid. Of course, with a 6-second penalty that Clarky has, this might just potentially put Mikey in P1 and having him get the racing, but it's going to be quite a close one. He's 2.9 seconds and now has a penalty, but I'm not sure what the heck did he just do. And he's having some trouble with the car, falling quite a bit down more. Spencer is now up into 3rd, and this is getting very interesting going down to the final lap here. We got a Ferrari and a Mercedes going side by side for P5 still, as these two are going to fight it down the pit straight and going into lap 27. The race leader now goes. That's Clarky there. It looks like he's going to be getting across the line P1. I'm not even sure who's taking P1 at this point here right now, but we're still following on through them. See what's going to happen down at the end. We got to have a look at the penalties and see how that's going to work itself out, because I think it's only 2 drivers right now without any penalties on the grid, and it's quite close between those 2 there, between Mikey and Optics at the moment, and I'm not sure how they're not taking any damage at this point, but Optics definitely looking at getting by Mikey for that position, and Mikey was looking at getting a potential race win here, or at least 2nd place on the podium, which he's now lost out on because of losing a bit of control of his car. Leaves a bit of gap open here for Ferrari to take it around the outside, a bit forced on the inside now. And looks like you'll have to hold it on there for now. We're going to follow on with our race leader here through the final sector of the track. And that's Clarky here. And looks like someone is falling down the order there. It's not soft at the moment. Not sure what's happened to his car. But I think he had a bit of an incident. We got a yellow flag situation in sector 2. And he's going to fall all the way down to the back of the grid. We got Clarky with quite a bit of a gap, and Softar has retired from the session. Unfortunately, on the final lap of the race, one of the worst things that can possibly happen. So Clarky coming around the Parabolica right about now, and he's slowing down because he knows he has such a big gap. And why is he slowing down so much? He knows he's going to be losing out the lead of the race, allowing Spencer to go across the line P1. He's going to be able to keep it. Maddie takes away P1. Mikey takes 2nd. And looks like Optics takes 3rd on the podium. Extremist takes 4th. Clarky taking 5th here right now. I'm not sure why he slowed down that much. Was he going to be falling down all the way down to 5th? Or possibly is I think might have been what was going to happen with the penalty situation that he had going on. Serious Mushroom finishes in 6th. Spencer 7th. We got Vintage 8th. Neil there 9th. We got Nick coming across the line for 10th. Callum is going to be taking 11th. And Bro Gorilla with 33 seconds of penalties. Is that even allowed at this point here? Finishing 12th on the grid. Sofdar, Red Devil, Stinson, Waxwing, Beefy, and Dan Murphy unfortunately not able to finish the race, so we only have 12 of our 18 drivers getting across the line. And Serious Mushroom says he doesn't know who hit him from the behind, but he said thanks anyway. Alright, so let's have a look at the finishing positions on this one. Who got driver of the day? Because I didn't pay attention on who was going to be getting that one. And it looks like that goes to Extremist. Interestingly enough, goes to him for driver of the day on that one. I'm not sure about that one, but if you guys have a different idea in mind about driver of the day, leave it in the comments. Alright, so 2 Ferrari and a Mercedes on the podium. Not too bad to see, but let's see what the actual preliminary results look like so far before all the reports go in. So Maddie takes the win here for the Italian Grand Prix, round 20 of 23 so far for this current season for PGL. Then we got Mikey taking 2nd place on the podium. Optics takes 3rd on the podium. Not a bad finish for him. Extremist finishing 4th and getting driver of the day. Not a bad finish for him. He started 18th on the grid and finished all the way in P4, so not a bad race for him. Clarky finishing 5th. Was leading the race, got the fastest lap though, so not too bad. Serious Mushroom finishes 6th. Spencer there 7th. His teammate unfortunately not able to finish. Vintage there 8th. Nayland 9th. And we got Nick finishing 10th. Callum there 11th. We got Bro Gorilla finishing 12th with a 33-second penalty. And then we got Sofdar there finishing 13th. We got Red Devil will have to take 14th on that. Stinson 15th. Waxwing 16th. Beefy 17th. And Dan Murphy 18th so far. Well, that was a heck of an exciting race. Hopefully we have a bit more excitement coming next week for round 21. And then the next week after that to finish off the season with a doubleheader race. So we'll see how that's going to go. But should be an interesting finish to the season. And then we will have to wait just a bit until F1 2021 to get started with the new season on that. So for everyone who joined on to the stream, whether it was on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, thanks to all of you who joined on. Make sure you guys do leave a like on the streams itself. And I look forward to doing this again during the course of the week. And we'll have round 21 next week though. We'll probably do some other streams during the course of the week. Not potentially going to be F1. So we'll see how that works out. But once again, thanks to everyone who joined on to the stream. And that's going to be it for this evening.